Attention all Renegades, it's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the new look bunker. Welcome to the essence of No Half Steppin'. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started on the No Half Steppin' hockey coverage, let me tell you about RenegadesOfPuck.com. Once you go to RenegadesOfPuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the Renegades of Puck, and once you click on that merchandise link, you'll get access to all of the gimmicks the Renegades of Puck are famous for. Right there, you can find our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt that I am wearing right here on set in the bunker tonight. You can also find all of our other great items, such as socks, throw pillows, bed sets, and all of the other things the Renegades of Puck are famous for. We've sold out, so you can buy in. Social media is critically important to an operation that has only existed for a couple of months now. We are producing the content, and we need your help, Renegades. I need you subscribing to our YouTube channel and telling others to subscribe to that YouTube channel. Once you are part of our YouTube community, we need you to go ahead and spread those links around. You can do that by going to Facebook and passing those links around. And while you're there, make sure you give the Renegades of Puck a like on Facebook if that's not your preferred platform, and Twitter is. We are highly interactive on Twitter, so make sure you give us a follow at Renegades of Puck, or give each and every one of the individual Renegades of Puck a follow. Pass those links around, retweet, like, tell the Renegades of Puck in your life all about the show. We're also on Instagram, and we try to create individual content for all of these different social media platforms, so it's worth giving us a follow on each and every one of those platforms. We're on SoundCloud, audio only, podcast format, the classic radio show that you remember and love for well over 500 episodes. Well, it's also now available on SoundCloud. Renegades of Puck TV as an audio podcast can be found on SoundCloud, and our behind-the-scenes live stream takes place on Twitch. We are having a great time in our little Twitch community right there. If there are second takes, mistakes, or F-bombs, you're going to find them right there on the live feed. We also hold live production meetings and sometimes therapy sessions for the captain and the host, Crazy Charlie Saunier. So we'd appreciate it if you would give us a follow on Twitch. And they had an opportunity to see the new look playoff bunker long before anybody else did. Trust me, it's worth giving us a follow and giving us a watch over there on our live behind-the-scenes stream on Twitch. It's not pretty. It's real broadcasting, and we give you a look behind the scenes at everything we're doing at Renegades of Puck TV. If you could, please become a partner of the Renegades of Puck by going to Venmo. Right there, all you have to do is search Renegades of Puck or scan the QR code that's currently on your screen. All donations go directly to the Renegades of Puck and help us to improve everything that we are doing. You can see between the last two episodes alone, I have made significant improvements to the bunker itself. I have broken the console down and rebuilt it. We have added a bunch of new things out here, and we do that thanks to your great generosity and participation as partners here with the Renegades of Puck. So stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you who have helped us out along in our first season. It's built by Renegades for Renegades, so please, if you can help us out, even the smallest donation goes a long way when it comes to the Renegades of Puck and our efforts here in the trenches. All right, now I know you come here for the No Half Steppin' hockey coverage, so it's time for me to deliver the goods. It's operation number 630 for the Renegades of Puck. That is right. It is show number 630. And on this date in hockey history, the Nashville Preds currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 68 games played. They have a record of 39, 25, and 4. That is good for 82 points, and they are currently 4 points behind third place St. Louis. They are 9 points behind their next opponent, the Minnesota Wild, and they are 22 points behind first place Colorado Avalanche. They currently hold a 1-point cushion above the Dallas Stars, 6 points above the Winnipeg Jets. Now, what is critical to note in the standings as of this date in hockey history is that all of the teams competing for the middle of the Central Division have all played the same number of games in 68. So all of them have 14 games remaining. It has been quite a disparity in games played for quite some time. As a matter of fact, going all the way back to early December. So it is good to see that now we understand what needs to happen in the final 14 games of the season. For the Nashville Predators, the wild card standings also now become of critical importance because not being in the top three means they are only eligible for a wild card spot. Currently, the Nashville Predators are the number one wild card seed in the Western Conference with 82 points, 14 games remaining. Vegas holds the number 2 wild card spot also with 82 points, but only 11 games remaining on the season. And then Dallas is at 81 points, and Winnipeg is at 76 points. The Nashville Predators' next game will take place at Bridgestone Arena, where they have a record of 21-11-0. They will be facing off against the Minnesota Wild, who have a road record of 19-13-3. The Preds have an overall record of 39-25-4, while Minnesota has an overall record of 43-20-5. As of late, the Minnesota Wild have been absolutely red hot. Going back and looking at just their previous 5 games, on March the 27th, it was a 3-2 overtime win versus the Colorado Avalanche. On the 29th, it was a 4-1 victory versus the Philadelphia Flyers. Followed that up on the 31st of March, a 4-3 overtime loss at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Then on April the 2nd, a 3-1 victory at Carolina, a 5-1 victory at Washington. So the Minnesota Wild wrap up a back-to-back over the weekend, picking up all 4 points and outscoring their opponent 8-1. Of course, the Minnesota Wild's next game continues on the road trip here in Nashville at Bridgestone Arena. This will be the third time these two Central Division rivals have met this season. They will have one more meeting coming up again at Bridgestone Arena coming up later this month on the 24th of April. Taking a look at the previous games these two teams played, both in Minnesota, back on October the 24th. The Preds came away with a 5-2 victory. It was the captain, Roman Josi, with 4 points. It breaks down with 1 goal and 3 assists. Ryan Johansson had 2 goals in that game. They didn't play again until March the 13th when the Preds went back into Minnesota and secured another victory, 6-2 in that game. The captain, again, having a great game. 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. So Roman Josi in 2 games has 8 points against the Minnesota Wild. Philip Forsberg also had 3 points in that game, 2 of those being goals. Philip Tomasino had a goal and an assist, and David Riddick got the start and the victory, going 26 out of 28. For the Nashville Predators, no doubt injuries on the defensive side of things are causing a bit of an issue as of late. Dante Fabro, Mark Borowiecki still out of the lineup, still listed as at least being out another week or so. When you take a look inside the matchup of these two teams, between the Nashville Predators and the Minnesota Wild, you're going to see some impressive numbers by the Minnesota Wild, especially when it comes to the goals for category. 3.63 at this point in the season is 4th best in the NHL. The Preds in the same statistical category, 3.26. They are 11th best in the NHL. When it comes to goals against, the Nashville Predators are ahead of Minnesota in this one. 2.90 is 11th best in the NHL. 3.01 on Minnesota's side is 17th overall. Shots on net. The Minnesota Wild are generating 32.4 shots on net per game. That's 11th best in the NHL. The Preds are 26th in the league at 29.5. Shots against, Minnesota ahead in this metric as well. 31.9 is 18th in the NHL. And the Nashville Predators are 21st in the league, giving up 32 per game. When it comes to special teams, the Nashville Predators do hold the advantage in both of these categories. Power play first. 7th overall, 24% conversion rate, or 50 out of 208 for the Nashville Predators. And over on Minnesota's side, they've converted 42 times on 204 opportunities, or 20.6%, and that is 18th best in the NHL. Minnesota has given up 51 power play goals against on the penalty kill, and they are rated 22nd. The Nashville Predators should be able to take advantage of this penalty kill unit by Minnesota. The Nashville Predators penalty kill unit is 16th best in the NHL, converting at 79.5%. They have given up 48 power play goals against on the season. Updating the stats after the back-to-back weekend victories for the Minnesota Wild. Kaprizov, of course, leading the team and having an otherworldly season. 39 goals, 46 assists, 85 points. Matt Zuccarello, 20 goals and 49 assists for 69 points. Kevin Fiala's at 23 goals and 38 assists for 61 points. Hartman's at 27 and 26 for 53. Eriksson Ek at 21 and 19 for 40. Marc-Andre Fleury, since being picked up by the Minnesota Wild, has been absolutely sensational. Now a record of 3-0-0, a .958 save percentage with Minnesota, 1.34 goals against average. Taking a look over on the Nashville statistical side of things, the captain, Roman Josi, continues to lead as he has for almost the entire season now. 18 goals and 63 assists for 81 points, still 4 points shy of Paul Kariya's franchise single-season record. Now, 2 games without points. You have to anticipate the captain, Roman Josi, is going to break out, and probably this upcoming week. Matt Duchene, 35 goals, 35 assists, 70 points overall in the season. Philip Forsberg leads the team with 38 goals, add 29 assists for 67 points. Ryan Johansson's at 17 and 34 for 51. Granlund, 9 and 41 for 50. And Tanner Jeannot at 23 goals and 17 assists for 40 points. UC Saros, 33 wins, still pacing amongst the best in the NHL. The rest of the record is 21-3, a .920 save percentage, and 2.57 goals against average. It is not anywhere near the top 3 in the NHL, so we're not going to talk about UC Saros in relation to the Vezina Trophy or being a Vezina finalist coming up here, because I do not believe UC Saros is going to have the numbers to get into that conversation the way things have dropped off as of late. With 14 games to go on the season, the Nashville Predators, after wrapping up this game at home against the Minnesota Wild, will face off against the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa and then head on back to Bridgestone Arena for a game against the Florida Panthers, then another game on the road against Pittsburgh. So Florida-Pittsburgh is a back-to-back over next weekend. April the 12th, we'll see the San Jose Sharks at Bridgestone Arena. And the 14th of April, we'll see the Edmonton Oilers here at Bridgestone Arena. The Nashville Predators have the bulk of their 14 games remaining on home ice, and they have to take care of their business. You see exactly where they stand, exactly what they have to do. Now the standings have been fully updated through the weekend, and all of these teams in the same race have the same amount of games played. The Nashville Predators at 82 points find themselves 4 points out of an automatic qualifying playoff spot for the Central Division bracket, but are well within the control of their destiny in the wild card, currently leading in the number 1 spot. And of course, as we continue to caution, finishing in the number 2 wild card spot more than likely means you're going to face off against the Colorado Avalanche, and that is not necessarily where you want to find yourself in the first round of the playoffs. But for the Nashville Predators, they have an opportunity to control their own destiny and improve upon that, not only the potential to be the number 1 wildcard team, but to move up into that 2-3 matchup in the Central Division. It all starts with this game at Bridgestone Arena against the Minnesota Wild. It's the next biggest game of the season for the Nashville Predators. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports, you can find them online at rebirthsports.com or on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They take visions and make them reality. They are not just jersey makers, they are hockey tailors, and they can outfit your entire operation. I am so proud to have Rebirth Sports in the trenches with Renegades of Puck. You've seen the home jersey, you've seen the road jersey, now you've seen the Renegades of Puck third jersey. All of the jerseys I've worn over the years in league play for the Mighty Drunks, on Lake Nokomis, at the United States Pond Hockey Championships, in multiple charity events like the Wish Cup here in Nashville, Tennessee. Wherever I go, wherever I skate, Rebirth Sports has the best threads out there on the ice, and it is noticeable every single time. I get asked everywhere I go, who made those threads? And the answer is easy, and it is so simple to tell them all about Rebirth Sports. I'm so incredibly excited to continue partnering with Rebirth Sports as they have helped me with yet another round of great promotional jersey giveaways. That's right, we're welcoming more members to the High Council of Renegades. We've dispatched couriers across the landscape yet again to seek out some high-value targets. So you'll have to stay tuned to Renegades of Puck TV to find out exactly where those couriers will be turning up. But a lot of stick taps, love, and respect to Rebirth Sports for helping us out and being such great people and such great partners here to the Renegades of Puck. Now, you're here for this full game recap, so let's go all the way back to April the 1st of the year in 2022, when the Nashville Predators were in Buffalo to close out the regular season series against the sudden surging Buffalo Sabres. John Hines. What am I even trying to say right now? He deploys his lines as following: Forsberg, Johansson, Duchesne, Tolman and Granlund and Cunnin, Trennan, Sissons and Janot, Cousins, McCarron and Tomasino, Yossi and Carrier, Ekholm, Luzon, Davies and Benning make up your defense pairings. UC Saros gets the start in net. We are 120 into the first period, and UC Saros has come up with a save on Thompson. It's the first shot on goal of the game for either of the team, but it wouldn't be long before not only is Buffalo getting another shot on net, but putting the puck into the net. 2:16 of the first period. It's Krebs' 7th goal of the season. It's a rebound put back from the left circle after a turnover by the Nashville Predators. Some half-step and lackadaisical play by the Preds suddenly has them down on the road 1-0 against the Buffalo Sabres. And the Nashville Predators, as of late, it is not a trend anymore. It is now the thing that they just do. They're behind by a goal early in the first period. 4:32 of the first period, though, Philip Forsberg is answering with his 38th goal of the season, tying this game up at 1 apiece. It was Johansson taking a shot, then Johansson with the rebound opportunity, then Forsberg coming behind with the third wave jam for the Nashville Predators. Great to see the Nashville Predators top line out there grinding as hard as they were on this play. 6:51 of the first period, UC Saros with the save on Skinner stepping out from the goal line for a scoring opportunity. 6:58, Thompson, though, his 29th goal gives Buffalo a 2-1 lead. It was a shot from the high slot with a little bit of traffic, but it was really just a very good setup and a very good shot. 7:14 of the first period. Trennan's off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Jeannot comes up with a partial breakaway on the shorthanded opportunity, but it is stopped by Anderson at the post. UC Saros survives the shooting gallery that is the remainder of that power play, and the Nashville Predators are able to hang in there. Buffalo continues their momentum throughout the rest of the first period, though, when we hit the 13:22 mark when Thompson scores his 30th goal of the season. The puck goes off of Jeannot at the top of the crease and into the net. Buffalo now leads 3-1 on home ice, and that home crowd is absolutely stunningly electric and into this game. 17:23 the first period. McCarron's 7th goal of the season gives the Preds back another goal. Now a 3-2 game in favor of the Buffalo Sabres. It was a deflection of Benning's long shot. McCarron's 3rd goal in 2 games keeps the Preds in this thing in the first period. 19:02 at the first period. Luzon's 2nd goal of the season, his 1st goal as a Nashville Predator, gives the Nashville Predators their 3rd goal of the game, tying this game up at 3 apiece. It was jam after lots of razzle-dazzle that failed by Duchesne and Johansson. It was Luzon following the play up and just stuffing the puck into the net. Great job by him to follow up the play and keep the concentration. And great job by the Nashville Predators first line, again, setting up another scoring opportunity here in the first period. We've got a tied hockey game at the end of the first period. Buffalo leads in shots on goal 14-10. We got a clean sheet of ice, and we're 3:32 into the second period when Thompson goes to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Matt Duchesne was too cute and passes up a great shot opportunity in the slot, and the Nashville Predators end up with 0 shots overall on that power play. As a matter of fact, the offense would become almost non-existent for a substantial amount of time after Matt Duchesne passing up this opportunity for being too cute. It must have drove Terry Crisp crazy wherever he was watching the game. Crispy. We hit the 6:21 mark of the second period. Anderson comes up with a save on Johansson. 6:57, Anderson comes up with a save on Forsberg's one-timer. Then at 10:43, Saros comes up with a save on Gigoranson's. 12:53, Nashville off the box. Too many men on the ice. We see Olofsson scoring for the Buffalo Sabres. His 15th goal of the season on the power play was a heavy shot from the top of the right circle. Buffalo leading 4-3 in this game. 17:45 in the second period. You see Saros is sprawled out, comes up with the glove save on Tuck. The edge work, the push out, simply incredible. This is one of those next level saves that we've just started to become used to seeing on a regular basis from UC Saros. And in the second period, Buffalo leading in shots on goal 23-15. We're into the third period now in 3:07, and UC Saros coming up with a save on Asplin's partial breakaway. At 4:23, Saros comes up with a save on Tuck after a quick neutral zone transition. 8:15, Saros again back to work, save with the blocker on Okposo after Ekholm's turnover in the neutral zone. We go all the way to 14:21 now, and Anderson comes up with a save on Cunnin off of the rush. Nashville has 10 shots on goal since the beginning of the second period, so 10 shots on goal in 35 minutes of gameplay. And the Buffalo Sabres just staying in the neutral zone, picking pucks off and going down for scoring opportunities. Like this one at 4:15:29 when Saros has come with a blocker save on Skinner. 15:39, though, Anderson gives up the save on McCarron's backhand as the Preds lead the charge back down the ice. 16:17, Saros save on Eakin's deflection with traffic. 19:51 in the 6-on-5 empty net scenario. Anderson's able to withstand the gem. It did look like possibly one of the Buffalo Sabres may have closed their hand over the puck in the blue paint and assisted in Anderson being able to freeze the puck, but nobody seemed to raise much hell about that. The referees had a conversation, but it didn't last for very long. Anderson comes up with another save on Jeannot with 5 seconds to go in the game. The Preds are unable to generate another scoring opportunity, and yet another chance with the 6-on-5 where the Preds failed to capitalize. Buffalo scores the victory, 4-3 on home ice, now shoots the Preds 35-25 on a night that was very emotional for the Buffalo Sabres. Their crowd was into it, of course. They had a huge ceremony for Rick Jeanneret right before the game started, sending his name up to the rafters for 50 years of service on commentary and play-by-play for the Buffalo Sabres. So it was an incredibly emotional night for that fan base. That team is young, and they are hungry, and they are clearly already entered next season mode because a team with the record that they have, where they are in the standings, they're about to get the little E next to their name. Typically, they don't play that hard. That Buffalo Sabres team played real damn hard, and I would actually enjoy watching them down the stretch for the rest of these games and might enjoy watching them play next year when I'm not covering the Nashville Predators against them. But for the Preds, you drop 2 games to the Buffalo Sabres this season. It's simply unacceptable. That's 4 points against an Eastern Conference opponent that you need to have. Right now, you are currently at this moment sitting 1 point behind the St. Louis Blues for an automatic qualifying playoff spot. Just imagine if you had been able to play a little bit better against the Buffalo Sabres and pick up any points at all. Now, tonight's game, I am certainly not going to put on the list with the most awful games of the season, like in Seattle, like in Montreal, like earlier in the season in Chicago. This was going up against a team that is playing very good hockey at this time and is clearly young, hungry, and has already turned the page and moving on to next season. For the Nashville Predators, they got beat by a team that, frankly, just outplayed them tonight. You're never going to win a hockey game by half-stepping, and while the broadcast almost called that half-stepping, I will go ahead and call it full half-stepping. The Nashville Predators simply did not show up in Buffalo tonight. UC Saros was left hung out to dry. He kept the Preds in this game for quite a while. But when you're seeing scoring from McCarron and from Luzon, you need to see other players start to step up, and you certainly can't drop a game like that. You fought all the way back, tied up at 3 apiece, and then were unable to capitalize the rest of the way. Simply not enough shots on net, not enough effort, not enough jam, not enough whatever the fuck you want to call it. The Nashville Predators just simply did not deliver the goods in Buffalo tonight, and they have to do a better job than that. They play down to competition. They play up to competition. So in the next game in Minnesota, I expect to see the Nashville Predators come up with a much better effort when they play against the Wild at Bridgestone Arena. UC Saros was 31 out of 35 in this game, and I can talk about the incredible save that he made while down on his belly, pushing out with the glove. Simply incredible edge work right there, as we've come to expect from UC Saros on a night-in, night-out basis now. You can see that the numbers have absolutely sunk to the point where he's no longer in the Vezina conversation whatsoever. The wins, yes, impressive overall for the team, and that is what's most important overall. But the team half-stepping in front of UC Saros, no longer clearing bodies, no longer being incredibly physical as we have seen them be plenty of times in the past. It's simply not good enough in front of the net for the Nashville Predators right now. They're not helping out their goaltender enough. It's to the point where I don't even need a goaltending analyst to come in to tell me that yet again the Nashville Predators didn't play very well in support of their goaltender. So Nostradamus got the night off. He'll be back in the trenches here coming up soon. Let me tell you about a great partner of the Renegades of Puck, Strong Style Fitness. Strong Style Fitness can be found, of course, at strongstylefit.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find Strong Style Fitness right there, and I'd appreciate if you would give some stick taps, love, and respect to an operation that's provided 150 workouts for you on demand and ready to go. Whether it's your first workout, you're just getting off the couch to stretch for the first time, or you're ready to throw iron like a pro, a certified personal trainer named Tracy over at Strong Style Fit has you covered. So please check out Strong Style Fitness today. It won't cost you a single penny. It's a totally donation-based service because Tracy believes in the work and she believes in helping the Renegades of Puck. So again, check it out. Strong Style Fitness. You can always get in a good workout. A happy renegade is a healthy renegade. And I need you guys in the fight for the long haul. Strong Style Fitness can absolutely help you with that. Now, we can talk about McCarron's 3 goals in the last 2 games. That's impressive. Seeing your fourth line center starting to pile up some goals, 7 goals on the season, very good number. But on nights when McCarron is scoring and the Nashville Predators aren't adding any other scoring to it, it's not going to be good enough. Yes, McCarron was able to carry the team through the last game against the Ottawa Senators, but what? Were you expecting him to do that for a second consecutive game? He chips in with another goal. Great effort, great job to see him. Kind of surprised to see the number of hits that he had in this game not be quite as high as they have been in the past. As a matter of fact, only 1 in this game. For the Nashville Predators, it was overall not a very physical game. Very surprised to see that. Luzon, congratulations. First goal as a Nashville Pro, second goal on the season. So great job by him following up the play, crashing in the net hard. And I got to tell you, he has been a nice surprise so far. He's been filling in. He was brought in to be on the third pair or for the defense, but he has been filling in for Fabro. He's been playing plenty of minutes. As a matter of fact, you look at the box score from tonight, he's out there 19:35 in time on ice. He's blocked 2 shots. That's the team lead. He scores a goal, and night in and night out, other than this particular box score, he's been putting up some fairly impressive physical numbers out there on the ice. He's certainly an improvement over Ben Harper, so once the Nashville Predators are able to get Fabro back into the lineup and Borowiecki back into the lineup, you will certainly see better options and not see Ben Harper anymore. Luzon has done a nice job, though, of filling in the meantime. Roman Josi, no points in the last 2 games. It is kind of surprising to see, but the Nashville Predators offense is not generating the way they were the previous almost month of hockey. I expect things are going to pick up coming up here against the Minnesota Wild, and the captain of the Nashville Predators will probably be a huge part of that. Again, remember, only 4 points behind Paul Kariya for the all-time franchise single-season record of 85 points. Want to tell you about one more partner of the show, Stripe Digital Solutions. You can find Stripe Digital Solutions online, stripedigitalsolutions.com, or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stripe Digital Solutions helped me create the logo on the wall, helped me create the logo on this t-shirt right here, helped create the logos on these beer cans, helped create almost everything that we're doing here in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck, including renegadesofpuck.com, and on a daily basis is helping me manage my social media plan and build my brand. Stripe Digital Solutions is the total package, top shelf, otherworldly, creative, artist, human being, and Brandy is simply the best. Find out what Stripe Digital Solutions can do to help your small business. Believe me, if you're creating the content and you're putting in all the hours and doing all of the hard work, but nobody is seeing it, then you need somebody to help you get past that wall. Brandy can help you with that. Check out Stripe Digital Solutions today and send stick taps, love, and respect over to everybody at Stripe Digital Solutions. They're incredible people, incredible partners, and that's why we love having them in the trenches so much with the Renegades of Puck. Let me run down a couple of the numbers real quick, then we'll get over to the analytics desk. We see goals tonight from Philip Forsberg, McCarron, and Luzon. We see assists tonight, 2 from Matt Duchene. Ryan Johansson also had 2 assists in this game. Ellie Tolvanen picks up an assist in this game. Matt Benning also gets on the score sheet with an assist in shots on goal. Philip Forsberg tied for the team lead with others with 3. Janot also 3. Cunnin with 3. Ekholm with 3 shots on net. In block shots, 2 was the team lead, and that was by Luzon in this game. So the Predators not doing a very good job getting in front of the alleys and the lanes tonight at all. In hits, highly suspect to see the Nashville Predators play this low of a game in hits total. Matt Benning had 4 hits in this game, and not another Nashville Predator had more than 1 hit in this game. Highly unusual. We usually see Tanner Janot with 5, 6, 7 hits in a game. Tonight, he only had 1. We usually see Tolvanen with multiple hits in the game. We see Trennan with multiple hits. Not in this particular game. Something was missing in the Nashville Predators game tonight. I think John Hines, Sean C. Smith, a lot of people would say it was the Nashville Predators' identity that was missing in this game. This game is now over and done with, though, and for the Nashville Predators, the only thing left to report on is their time on ice leaders in this box score. Matt Duchene led all forwards in time on ice at 20:36 skated, and of course, Roman Josi led the team overall in total time on ice, 26:56. UC Saros, 31 out of 35, a couple of high real saves, but when the team half steps in front of you, there's very little that you can do to come away with this one. Let's kick it over to the Renegade Analytics desk and talk to Brian Baston. He was covering the game tonight for ontheforecheck.com. You can find him on Twitter at Brian Baston. You can also see his charts at ontheforecheck.com. He's got the numbers that you need to know, and he's right here in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Well, I've said it before. I've said it many times in this very segment in my one big stat. We've talked about it many times. In fact, I even talked about it today on the radio on NPR's show, This Is Nashville. Just a shameless plug for a great show. Please go check it out. But I said one of the reasons that Nashville's playoff hopes could be in jeopardy, as well as any success that they hope they might have in the playoffs, is all going to come down to 2 things: UC Saros and penalties. And UC Saros played his heart out tonight. There's some goals that he'd want back. And, obviously goaltenders want all of their goals back, but there was some. He played a good game, though. With the best defense that he had, he did as well as he could. But the penalties, once again, were the deciding factor. And that is, once again, the topic of tonight's one big stat. Nashville. The Nashville Predators, for some time now, they have led the NHL in penalties. And tonight's game was no exception. This season so far, they've taken 318 penalties, leading the league. And that's just, it's a lot of time for Nashville to have to play a man down. In fact, out of those 318 penalties they've taken, they've been shorthanded 234 times this season. So let's see what Nashville could do if they would just get a little bit better at not taking penalties. Let's imagine that they take 1 penalty less per game. So that's 68 games. So we take away out of those 234 times shorthanded. That's about 166 times shorthanded, which is a good improvement. That's over 130 minutes that they would get back. They get to play at even strength. Now, currently, their penalty kill is at 79.5%, middle of the road for the NHL. And at that same rate that they're killing penalties, that would be just 35 goals given up compared to the 48 that they have given out this season. So why is that important? Yes, those are theoretical goals. There's no telling if they could actually score that or save that many if they had less penalty kill attempts to go after. But let's just imagine 13 goals, that difference. How big could that be? Well, Nashville, including tonight, has played 27 one-goal games this season, according to the NHL, posting a record of 16, 7, and 4. Again, including tonight's loss, where a stupid too-many-men penalty led to Buffalo's game-winning goal. So imagine 13 goals, and they've played 27 one-goal games. Imagine how many points are sitting left on the board. Points, on the scoreboard, but also points in the standings have been left out on the board because Nashville is spending so much time every game shorthanded. They're averaging 12 minutes a game of penalty minutes. That's not sustainable, and if they want to have any success in the playoffs or even hope to make the playoffs, they have to cut it down, and they have to cut it down right now because time is running out. With just 14 games left, a playoff spot is not secure, and Nashville is going to have to put up a pretty incredible homestand in their final 9 home games out of the 14 games left against a lot of Central Division foes. Nashville has to clean up their game. I'm hoping this is the last time I have to talk about it, but it probably won't be. So until then, thanks a lot, Charlie, and this has been One Big Stat.
He's the one and only Brian Baston. You can find him on Twitter at Brian Baston. You can check out his charts at ontheforecheck.com. He's got the numbers you need to know, and he runs the Renegade Analytics desk for me right here at Renegades of Puck TV. Stick taps, love, and respect to Brian for jumping in the trenches. The rest of the Renegades of Puck are off for the weekend, and honestly, not a whole lot to talk about. When the Nashville Predators come out in half step, there's no reason for me to waste a lot of time of my analysts and bring them into the trenches to talk about half stepping. It's pretty obvious what happened tonight. The Nashville Predators need to get their identity and their focus, their jam, and their drive back, and they need to handle their business coming up against the Minnesota Wild. Significantly more impressive competition. The Minnesota Wild currently sit at 87 points in second place in the Central Division. The Nashville Predators want to fight to find themselves in that 2-3 matchup taking on this Minnesota Wild team. Well, they're going to have to prove it. They're going to have to beat Minnesota to get into that bracket and to get one of those automatic qualifying spots. 4 points on the line against the Minnesota Wild the rest of the way, coming up with the Preds having just a few games to go. We're well into the playoff stretch right now, my good Renegades. You see that the bunker has now been fully converted over to the playoff bunker. We will continue updating everything going on in the world of the Nashville Predators. The latest stats, the latest standings, the latest analysis and opinions will come from the bunker right here on Renegades of Puck TV. I ask that each and every one of you please share the links, subscribe, like, do all of the things needed today to help us build the show and help us build the brand. I thought you guys did a good job and you really picked up the effort on this last episode, but we've got less than a month of coverage to go here on this show before the end of the regular season. So we've got to make sure we are ready for the playoffs. That means no half-stepping from here on out. I need to see each and every one of you sharing those links. I can see that. It doesn't take you but a second, and it doesn't cost you a penny. So help the Renegades of Puck out. Make sure you're sharing those links. Make sure you are letting people know that we are right here, bringing the jam on Renegades of Puck TV. And before we head on out of the bunker, there is just one more thing I wanted to share with you. You know that I've been a professional entertainer for well over 26 years now, and that has encompassed a whole lot of different parts of my entertainment career. Well, in the earlier part of my career, I wasn't in the bunker, I was in the ring, and I was fighting for survival at a show called Hardcore Hell. This weekend happens to be the 24th anniversary of Hardcore Hell. Hardcore Hell continues on today. I was asked to say some words and record a small video in tribute to the things that are still continuing on and the battles still ongoing at Hardcore Hell today. While I may be much older now and much less likely to find myself in one of those battles, I still very much remember everything about it. I'd like to share this clip with you as we end this episode of Renegades of Puck TV. Stick taps, love, and respect, Renegades.
You ask me what I remember about Hardcore Hell, but that's really a more complicated answer than we have time for right here. I remember a lot about Hardcore Hell. I remember being humiliated by JC Daz at Hardcore Hell in one of the most electrifying finish that you've ever seen in the city of Cornelia or in the wrestling industry.
Daz trying to shake it off. Boot to the, a second boot to the head. We've got, he runs over the opponent. Oh my God, he won, JC Daz has won.
I also remember teaming with Al Getz just after that and helping Scotty Wren, along with Shank and Damian Steele, burn JC Daz by putting him through 2 tables right there in the Landmark Arena.
White trash with a match in his mouth. Super cool. Scotty Wren on the top ring turnbuckle. Damian Steele directing traffic. What have they got in mind here? Once again, virtual 3-on-1, and it's on fire! It's on fire! Oh my God! Somebody put everybody out!
That's what it meant to go to hardcore hell. You could experience heaven and hell in the same night, in the same moment. I remember people coming from far and wide. I remember teaming with Total Destruction as we destroyed the entirety of the arena.
But these guys were busy setting up the ring. Oh, stop sign to the private.
Everything had to be rebuilt, from the guardrails to the chairs themselves to the entranceway. I remember a lot about hardcore hell. I remember how even after I was too injured to compete at hardcore hell, I still came back and I made a pilgrimage each and every year to be a special guest ring announcer or an icon of violence or whatever it was that was needed for that moment. The memories of hardcore hell, well, those are the memories that last forever. For the people that performed at hardcore hell, a brotherhood was formed, a brotherhood that will never be broken. For those who performed at hardcore hell, you came from far, you came from wide, and you delivered the goods. You knew you were part of something special. You knew you were part of something bigger. And for those of you who competed at hardcore hell, you understood there was a certain level of violence that there was to be delivered and scars that will last forever. And that is exactly what hardcore hell means. That's exactly what I remember about hardcore hell. Hardcore hell is not a memory. Hardcore hell is something that lives with you forever. Hardcore hell never dies.